No, you can't
you
call
have a
me
learning
anything,
disability.
Nick. Okay, so we're going to do a take 2 this time, okay? And I'm already recording. Take 2 of the question. This time it's going to work. I see it on the readings here. It's picking it up. I've got like less than 12 hours to record this. So, Nick, ask away. What is your question to Renee? Ask him something different.
All right. Ask him something different. I thought we were asking him the same thing.
Not too late. I'm saying ask something different.
Okay. All right. How would you feel if they stopped doing anything for Batman itself, and instead you have more of a Bat family-esque thing where Batman is definitely around. He's around, but it's more about, Alfred, or it's more about like this box instead.
I think for me, that would be a really good idea, but it seems like they're trying to do that right now with like CW shows, and it doesn't look like it's doing well. But maybe for movies, it would be good because I feel like they would put in a lot of time. I think one example is they're continuing with a Nightwing movie, which I'm really excited about. They just announced that the other day. Yeah.
Now, guess what, Renee? They're canceling it right now. I'm going to cancel them. I'm going to message Warner Brothers. That's it. It's too late. Just because Nick asked that question.
Me personally, I want to see more of the Bat family.
I didn't ask for you to answer the question. You asked the question, Nick.
Okay, well, be rude.
I mean,
okay, give us a quick little response.
No, it's fine.
Oh, did I hurt your feelings?
look what you did. Look what you did, Brian.
It's the typical day at the Nerds. That's what it is. I always say something that hurts Nick's feelings. Now he's going to go home and cry.
I'm already home and I'm already crying.
All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and start the show. Say bye to everyone.
Bye, everyone. Enjoy the issue.
Yeah.
Recording at 12920 Philadelphia Street, Whittier, California, at Undersea Comics. Keeping Up with the Nerds presents issue 102. My name is Renee.
This is Brian.
And welcome to the show, everyone. Woo! 102 now.
Why do you have some chug?
Just chug that ghost right now.
Just, like shotgun it. Welcome to the show, everyone.
Yes.
Couple of announcements before we jump in. No, Nick, behave yourself.
I'm only interested if you snort it.
Well, can you dehydrate it first, like into a powder?
No, you gotta go.
No, I want I want all the liquid, so that way it just hurts.
Oh yeah, you got a neti potty.
Just
A couple of announcements. KeepingUpWithTheNerds.com for all the up-to-date information. Follow us on our socials at Keeping Up with the Nerds on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. And if you're listening to this on audio platforms, head over to YouTube to find us out at Keeping Up with the Nerds. Our Real Addiction will be starting their video version of the podcast on our channel within the next 2 to 3 weeks.
And then will they have an audio available on
Audio
theirs?
available
Okay.
and audio on theirs.
audio and visual.
And then
video
on ours
okay.
over here. Yeah. And go check them out. Our Real Addiction. They actually talked about Jurassic.
Was it bad?
I don't know. I didn't ask. Okay.
Check my thing. I had an alarm.
No, it's fine. It's still recording.
Okay.
It's still recording. Did the alarm go off?
Yes, it did. You're fine. They checked out Jurassic World Dominion. So that should have been fun. That's talked about Netflix Geeked Week, so there's that and a bunch of movie news. So go check them out.
Do they like Dominion?
I don't know. I didn't ask. The fact that they never mentioned anything throughout messaging means that they probably didn't like it.
That's true. They never mentioned, guys, go watch Dominion.
Yeah, they never did.
It was sick. We all went like, oh, so Lightyear.
I read a not a spoiler. I mean, well, yeah, I guess it's a spoiler in the movie, and it was kind of like a weird direction they went that someone talked about, where it's like it didn't involve the dinosaurs apparently.
It did.
The threat.
It did.
So it's just
There's like
World.
another threat.
So
Apparently,
this is just World the movie.
World Dominion.
I don't know, man.
Any other pieces of news? Nothing new to announce this week.
For
I
us,
feel
or
like-
just in general.
I feel like
general.
there is, but I haven't. Well, if anything, that's,
If we don't remember, that's why we have a website.
oh, that's true.
That's true.
Right,
Go
Keeping
check
Up with
it out.
Nerds, yeah.
But the number one thing that we did that is important. It's Renee's birthday.
By the time of this recording, yeah, it already
Happy
happened.
birthday to you. We can't sing much of this song.
Really?
Because we'll probably get copyrighted.
Yeah,
Is it really?
It's still in
Copyrighted?
public domain.
It's not
I think
public
it might
domain
be.
That's crazy.
Actually, I think even putting it in the tone of it,
Oh, 'cause that's what the algorithm
because the
does.
algorithm marks it.
Fight me.
All right, well,
Go, YouTube. What do you do?
if there's no audio on this, then you know why.
No, they just demonetize it. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Who gets
dude.
it? Who's the owner of Happy Birthday?
Some like old
Happy
person.
Birthday Incorporated.
Jeff Bezos. He's like, yeah. He's like, I bought it when I was 2.
I bought the public domain. That's what started Amazon.
All right, so
That's what Amazon's built.
today's topics, we talk about the Boys Watch.
The Boys.
which will be a segment towards the end of the show.
That'll just be me and Nick.
Or should I put it in at the beginning?
No.
Oh,
No.
We'll talk about this after, but
It'll be at the end.
It'll be at the
Actually,
end.
you know what? I'll say when we're gonna cut into the Boys.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll do that. So we talk about the Boys. We went to go see Lightyear.
we did go
Yes.
see Lightyear.
I saw it
And,
twice. I saw it last night upon this recording. I saw it last night with Mandy and Hayden.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Hayden?
Hayden's down. Yeah, he's down for the weekend. He's going to
Oh,
be
dope.
here tonight.
Oh, dope,
Yeah.
dope. Okay, cool.
I went to Disneyland.
Yeah.
Yeah, we saw photos.
That's why you're all groggy, too.
Dude, I am tired.
Before he chugged the monster, he came in super quiet and groggy. He's like,
I sat down, dude, my legs hurt.
We're getting to that age where like a 12 a.m. Disney trip is like death. It's a death sentence.
No,
you know?
it's the 7 a.m. to 12 a.m.
Oh yeah,
Disney
no, that's
trip.
death squared.
And not only that, but I was drinking the entire time.
We're also going to talk about Miss Marvel. Actually, you
Let's
know what?
start
After
with
the
Miss
boy,
Mar- oh, go ahead.
No, we'll cut into the Boys first.
Okay.
I
And
made
then
that
we'll
decision,
go into Miss
and then we'll go
Marvel.
into Miss Marvel because I have to fight someone.
can-
I'm going to fight someone.
Oh.
Can we talk a little bit about Obi-Wan? Because that was awesome this week.
Oh, best episode so far.
Yes.
Still angry, but best episode.
Yeah, because honestly, there's a lot to talk about. There's a whole bunch of stuff that just
I
happened.
kind of want to save it for an end issue because next week it ends.
Yes.
So we can talk about it in
That could
whole
be.
net.
We
That
can
could be
use
it, yeah.
that as a.
I want an anchor. Like I want
Yeah.
something so that way we can talk.
We'll
about
talk
it
about
so
it
that
at
we
the
can
end. How
draw
about that?
people in. Yes.
Okay,
that's
we'll
fine.
do that, and I'll give you 5 minutes.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
That's a whole 5
You're all
minutes.
here. Can we shake hands on it? Can we be friends?
To infinity.
To infinity
To infinity.
and beyond.
Boom.
He's asking you to pull your finger. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna cut into the Boys segment. I'm not a part of it because I got
Life.
life
Because I've got life.
happened.
Life happened. So suck it up.
So
Editing Brian. Go. So what?
so editing Brian, take us from a less well lit.
Your camera's here.
I'm looking at you. Hi, camera. Camera. So welcome to a less lit
Portion
me
of the
and- yeah,
podcast.
me and Renee.
And
All right, guys. So starting Boys Watch. How do you like? How did you like this episode?
This episode was really interesting. I thoroughly enjoyed the whole team like getting split down the middle when they find out that Huey and Butcher are using compound. I mean temp V.
Temp V.
Yeah.
Temp V. And I do like the idea that Mother's Milk he has a line. Like he very much has a line
Yeah.
that he just feels like he can't cross.
Definitely. I
And-
definitely see that in here.
Yeah, but I also can't. I understand Billy and what was it? And Huey's resolve. Like I do get this of just like, what else are we gonna do?
It's
like,
so good because this episode, usually you'll lean towards one, be like, no, like MM's being stupid, they have to. But then at the same time, you see where he's coming from, with the whole, background of his father dying from Soldier Boy, his whole family actually.
I think it's interesting because in in the comics, it's the same way, right?
It's the same.
It's the same way, but they haven't. So in the comics, they talk about Soldier Boy killing Mother's Milk's family, but in the show, they're just showing glimpses.
And then the whole team has powers in the comic book. That's another thing. Like they all have basically super strength, and I think they all have super strength, and they're not invulnerable. I think they all have like a certain like enhanced speed. Like they're all kind of like super soldiers in a way.
Yeah, more or less.
Yeah. So in here in the show, it's basically it depends on your DNA mixing with V, and then that's your special ability that you get.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense because that also has to do. That's kind of how they established Compound V in what was it in the very beginning of like, oh yeah, we don't really know what powers the kids are gonna get. We give them Compound V when they're babies, and then we continuously give them Compound V as they grow up, and then eventually they can sustain and they can keep powers. And based off of whatever DNA it is, then we figure out if whether or not they're worth anything. Like, can I profit off these powers, or are they just kind of like junk heroes? Like we can't really do too much with them, so we're just gonna throw them away.
Did you ever watch the Boys Diabolical
I
animated
haven't.
series?
Is it good?
It's super funny and great because there's I think it's the last animated episode, which is technically canon within the show, that has to do with Highlanders. Homelander. Sorry, Homelander's.
He is a Highlander.
Yeah, right. Homelander's first mission as part of the Seven.
Right.
Yeah, they do that, and they have the voice actor Anthony Starr and stuff. He's playing Homelander. It's his first official fought mission that he does, and it's really interesting because you get a early hint of how crazy he is and stuff.
Because I saw a couple of clips of like, because it looks like he's trying to be a hero. Like he's trying to like do the right thing and everything else, and then he makes a mistake. That's what I know.
That's basically how it goes, and then you just see how unhinged he really is underneath, but he tries to put on like that Superman persona, you know, like don't worry citizens and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I have you. And then just everyone's like, what are you doing? You're being like too much. And it's really good. And then it's funny how you mentioned about kids or people that have like those like ridiculous superpowers that like would have, they have an episode of that's actually done by Dan Harmon and of the creators of Rick and Morty.
Oh, that's
they
pretty sick.
They do their animation and stuff like that, and it's basically what happens if like the rejected superheroes, they go to like a home facility and stuff like that.
That's pretty funny,
and it's really cool. It's really funny. It's like the best episode.
Well, it's interesting because, you know, even in like X-Men comics, there's like there's the people that are just like no one talks about. Like, yeah, you do have the, you know, the Professor X's and the Cyclopses and everything like that, but you also have the Inside Out Man, and you also you also have like Forget Me Not, where it's just like, who are you? I've known you for years. Like we've had this conversation like 100 times. Really, what's your power? As soon as you look away from me, you forget me. Yeah, you forget all about me. What? Yeah. It's something I do. That's my power.
That's another thing, and people forget there's even like super strong mutants that are like high level, like Omega level mutants, but they're never talked about. Like Darwin.
Yeah,
Darwin is like a crazy mutant.
Yeah, that's why it's really weird when they made Darwin in the movies, and they were just like, cool, he died.
He died by freaking, was it Sebastian? And it was even from freaking Havoc's little thing, and it's just like, what?
The whole point of his power is that he could survive anything.
Yeah.
So.
And then you just kill him off. I feel like they had nothing to do with. They didn't know what to do with him. And
I feel like his powers are too strong. Like, okay, he's kind of like the fix me for everything because he just goes, "I'll eat it," and then that's it. Like, that's how Darwin saves the day.
He's just there.
He's just there.
Yeah.
And he just saves the day and everything else. But going back to the boys, for this episode though, you have this idea of they're all kind of not necessarily separated or anything else, but the team is now fractured.
Yeah.
You have Kimiko in the hospital. Mother's Milk doesn't like what's going on with Mother's Milk doesn't like what's going on with Billy Butcher, with Butcher and Huey. He doesn't like the fact that he feels that Butcher is corrupting Huey.
Yeah.
And
same thing with Starlight. Starlight sees the same way.
Starlight's trying to see the corruption as well. And she's dealing with the aftermath of episode 4. episode 4 of Supersonic being killed by Homelander, which Vought knew he did, and also covered up, saying that it was a drug overdose.
Yep.
That he had OD'd.
Well, because now Homelander's in charge.
Yeah, Homelander's in charge. And which was also really interesting too, because you do see all these things, and like you kind of see like the propaganda machine rolling.
Yeah.
But you can also see that Homelander has no idea what he's doing.
No, he doesn't know all the workings behind the curtain.
Yeah.
When it comes to Vought, that's the thing. He doesn't know the company side of it.
Yes.
He only knows of its resources, and that he makes their money essentially. He thinks.
Yeah, honestly, I feel like it would kind of be like if, what is it, Booster Gold were to like take over Wayne Industries,
Oh yeah.
like Batman Incorporated, and he'd be like, "Oh, I know what's going on." And
Yeah,
he'd
I don't
be-
need to know. Yeah, it's not that hard.
Yeah, like it's not that hard, and then all of a sudden, like he gets there, and they're just like, "Okay, so what are we supposed to do about like this financial thing?" And he's like,
Not to mention we have so many foundations we gotta support. You know.
Yeah.
It's like.
And so it's interesting to kind of see, but it's also that thing of Vought falling in line.
Yeah.
Of the CEOs are like, oh, thanks for saving us from this corruption and bringing us back into the light and
my
everything like
God.
that. And it was very they're really referencing the Trump years of the American presidency, because it's very much a lot of yes men. It's a lot of like, oh my God, even though you did something criminal, yes,
Which
you
is
did amazing.
It's so funny they're going that route in this season when it comes to Homelander, and it's so great because one of the things that they also hinted that Vought Tower is like Trump Tower is when in the last episode when Supersonic comes in and he's the first Hispanic character.
Yeah, he has
the
he
first
has the Taco
Hispanic.
Bell.
Yeah, he's got Taco Bells ready for that. He's like, we have the best.
You know what? I feel like it's because reality is crazier than anything we could have come up with for
Yeah.
the boys. Like how do we come up with a wilder kind of like how do we do that when reality was so much more ridiculous?
Oh yeah, basically.
So why not just use what we already have? Not only that, but also it connects to people, and people are going to already know what we're talking about from it. And I do like the similarities between the two of like, Homelander speaks his mind, and like that's why we should really get behind him.
Yeah. He has a certain demographic that's reaching out, that's resonating with him, and it happens to be white male people.
Yeah. The interesting thing about this episode, though, is that they also started talking about Soldier Boy is now back in the States. He's able to get on a ship. He's able to get on a cargo plane, and which also made sense to me because I was like, because at first I saw that and I was like, what? I go, what is he doing? And I go, oh, well, he used to do like special ops. He used to do like covert operations.
Yeah,
he would know how to get in and
yeah,
out.
he would know how to like smuggle himself in and stuff like that.
Yeah. So I was like, that's pretty cool. So I was like the gangly beard.
Oh yeah, and then he gets his suit back, and he goes after his ex-girlfriend, which is cool. He's slowly going after the people that he knew that betrayed them.
Yeah,
betrayed
it's
him.
his the B plot of this episode is more or less Superboy. Soldier Boy coming back, not Superboy. Soldier Boy comes back to the States, realizes that the Russians, knowing that the Russians did things to him and tortured him, which also it kind of looks like he has a mild PTSD.
Which is really a cool little thing that they added on, which I loved, especially because you see flashbacks of like him, the pouring acid on him and stuff like that, and then just getting like an AR or a AK and just like shooting inside of his mouth and stuff like that, which that was crazy, honestly.
Yeah, like so you can see that they were trying to do a bunch of things, but it's so interesting also the idea of, yes, I am immortal, yes, I don't age, and it's impossible to kill me, but the problem is that I can still feel all the pain. So I'm still like my brain is still sensing all the pain and everything like that. It's not like, oh yeah, it just bounces right off. It's kind of like that thing of like whenever you shoot Superman and like the bullet just bounces right off, and it's like, oh yeah, like that's like Superman doesn't feel it, and it's like, okay, whatever.
I really like how they gave see, now you got me saying Soldier Boy a new power, which I guess is it seems like it's like he pushes out some sort of like radiation beam that he does, because they can track him down through the radiation from
So-
his
So
energy blast, I guess,
my
or something.
yeah. So my thinking is that I think that yes, he does have a new power, which is this radiation blast. But I think that it's enough radiation to cancel out your powers. Basically, it's so much radiation that it just destroys whatever powers you may have.
Yeah.
And because that's what's happening to Kimiko this entire episode, is she's realizing that her powers are gone. She's
That's-
no longer strong. She can no longer heal.
That's why I have a feeling she's gonna take V at the moment's notice when Frenchie needs to be saved.
And then that's gonna restart her powers.
Yeah, I feel like that's gonna happen to her.
Because I have a feeling that the way that this season's going to end is Homelander losing his abilities.
Yeah.
Because how exactly do we take out? How do we take off the top board? Like how do we mix things up
Yeah.
for season 6? And I mean for season 4, right? Or
season 4
for the next season.
That's the thing, and I'm trying to think. Like, they haven't announced it'll be the final season, but they could say the final season closer to when it's done filming.
Right.
So I don't know. We'll see where it goes. It feels like it is getting there.
It feels like they're getting up there.
Yeah,
Because I mean they're accomplishing a lot of things, and it's
Things are moving
playing out-
really
and
fast.
but it's playing out really well.
No, that's the thing,
At
yeah.
no point have I like felt
Nothing
that-
feels rushed,
that,
yeah.
that it's being rushed or anything like that. But I do feel, why introduce a superhero who can cancel out superpowers
Right?
unless you're going to use it at the end of the season? Like what about if all these people are lose their abilities, and Homelander has to take Temp V. That's the only way for him to regain his powers, and it's one of
That
the-
would be because I want to. I think because I feel like this is gonna end in a nice slugfest between Butcher and Homelander.
yes.
I want it to end like that because that would be so satisfying, and that would be a different way than how
The comics did it.
the comics did it. Because in the comics, at least the ending, they come up with like a.
Spoilers for the comics.
So I know spoilers for the comics,
In case
guys.
you didn't-
If you don't know, or if you don't want to know how the comic ends, because the showrunners might copy it, I guess skip like 10 minutes.
Yeah,
Just skip it like 10 minutes
honestly,
forward.
I think they might use a little bit of it, but
Yeah.
I don't think they're gonna use the comics.
Because the way,
version.
because I won't spoil how they kill Homelander, because I feel like they might do that route, but I'll spoil what they do to end it, because they have a bigger plan. They want to end soups in general.
Yes.
So they come up with like a pathogen that's airborne that kills anyone that has a super ability or like compound V in their system and stuff.
Wow.
So it's like a plague that they come up with and stuff, and just wipes everyone out, and it's just like the world's back to normal and stuff like that.
That's interesting.
Yeah. So it's really interesting that they go about that route.
So even Starlight would be even heroes that are for the cause of like stopping Homelander are even wiped out. That's
I think even Billy kills himself, Billy the Butcher, because at the time I think he dies as well too.
because he also has compound
He
V.
has like a compound V and stuff like that.
Most
of the team dies. I think Huey's the only one that lives, so I'm not too sure if.
Well, that's the other thing. What was it? Getting into everything else. We have Homelander. So that's what we think is going on. So for going back to Soldier Boy is so he realizes that his girlfriend at the time, Scarlet, her name was like Scarlet Crimson, like Sonic?
Crimson. Oh yeah, Crimson. Oh no,
Crimson Hawk or something like that,
Yeah.
or whatever her name is. The girlfriend that he had at the time, she is the one. She helped give him to the Russians, which also he thinks it's the Russians. He thinks the Russians paid her to get rid of her, which from right now it sounds like it's Sam Edgar. Sounds
Yeah.
like Sam Edgar got rid of him
Yeah,
and gave
that's
him to
what-
the Russians.
that's what I think that's gonna happen. He's gonna go to Vought Tower, and I think he's just gonna go crazy in the season finale. I think.
See, but here's my thing though. I think that he's going to go to Vought Tower and take over, and kind of be like, "I'm here. I can take off some of the load because now it's a new chess piece that's going to enter Vought,
Yeah.
and it's more or less a trustworthy piece. So it's kind of like, oh my God, Soldier Boy is back. We can reuse him, and I think that's how we're going to get Herogasm in the next episode, because Soldier Boy is back. So they're celebrating the return of Soldier Boy,
Yeah.
and I think that's going to be really cool. It's going to be an interesting episode for that one. but yeah, for that, so Billy and Huey, they what was it? They trick Starlight because Starlight shows up, you know, because Mother's Milk thinks, okay, we need Starlight here. Starlight is able, Huey takes Starlight away so that way they can have this argument that they're going to have about, you know, taking Compound V and, you know.
Didn't you call, or we talked about how they were gonna essentially gonna break up by this season?
Yes,
I think we mentioned
I said that they were gonna do it because he's going to either get addicted to Compound V, or he's just gonna get addicted to the powers.
Yeah.
In general, and so it kind of sounds like that's kind of where it's going.
Yeah.
Because they haven't broken up just yet, but there is that there is kind of like trouble in paradise.
Oh yeah, the next episode is Hero-gasm.
And that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So that's why I think that's how that happens is Soulja Boy comes back and then because Hero-gasm sounds like something that was much more, because based off of The Fixer, that sounds like something that was really big in the 90s. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So because he says, oh yeah, we used to like all have sex with each other and everything like that. And, what was it? And so like that was a huge thing that was going on. So I think that it's a Soulja Boy doing it, where he's like, oh yeah, I'm back. Let's host a good old fashioned Hero-gasm so that way we can, you know, celebrate my return. And I think it's going to be interesting because he's going to be overtly undermining Homelander.
Oh yeah, definitely. And I want to see that too with Anthony Starr and Jensen Ackles.
Oh my god, yes.
Yeah.
Anthony Starr and Jensen Ackles going head to head, because Jensen Ackles is so good at being intimidating.
I love that already when Soulja Boy was walking around the streets of New York and he's seen how different things
The world is
in 2022 compared to how he was in, what is it, like the 1960s or
which I actually thought was
70s or
interesting
something?
too, because he sees the gay couple that's
Yeah.
walking past, and I thought he would be more offended by it, in which she was kind of like, oh cool, that's cool.
Yeah, I guess people, that's the thing, is that I think because he might be just like kind of like how he's like bi, but he's not. But he doesn't consider himself bi. He's just like
He might be just
like,
he might just be open,
Yeah.
you know, like, you know, what the fuck, you know. Sorry, Brian.
Sorry, Brian. Yeah.
But I think that's gonna be, you know, that's how it is, and you know, because that was kind of like how it was in that celebrity world,
Yeah.
you know, because even they were talking about it and they were like, yeah, like I was having sex with her, and you know, then
We had sex together with two men already and stuff.
yeah,
and
and then,
it's
oh yeah, like I was in her, and then he was in me,
yeah.
and then he's like, oh what? It's not gay. Like he's like, oh, have an open mind. And then what was it? But I do think it's kind of interesting though, is that we have all of these situations that's going on, but we still have that Frenchie storyline where Frenchie and Kimiko are actually kind of getting together. It looks like now that she has, you know, powers and everything like that, she feels like I don't need to, you know, I don't need powers anymore, and I can live a normal life now.
Yeah.
And Frenchie and Nina are at odds because Russia was totally bungled. Like,
Yeah.
Russia, like, there's so many things that happened that Nina is now pissed, and she needs Frenchie to basically be a hitman again. Like, you need to be a hitman again. And at the end of the episode, she ends up kidnapping him. And right after they kiss, right after Frenchie and Kimiko kiss, and I'm kind of interested to see how that storyline plans out, where it's like, because I'm still standing on the thing of Frenchie's gonna die this season. I really do.
That's what I'm saying. If he doesn't really die, I feel like it's gonna be the moment where Kimiko thinks that I need my powers. She goes, rather like, yes, I love that they're gone, but I need my powers.
Yes.
I think she's gonna realize that she has a purpose, and that is to protect Frenchie at all costs and stuff.
Because he protects her from, because she protects him from like overt dangers, but he protects her from the world, like what's going on. And I really do love their story, how it's grown and everything else. I'm interested to see what's going to happen in the next episode. Are we forgetting anything? What else are we forgetting?
Just how basically at the end of this episode, Butcher and Huey are going with Soulja Boy.
Oh my god, I totally forgot. No, Maeve.
Oh, Maeve and Butcher.
Maeve and Butcher have sex. I totally forgot about that.
Yeah.
And then not only that, but she was kidnapped by Black Noir.
That's right.
I totally
Oh.
forgot. Like there was a whole Maeve storyline.
I feel like we're gonna see Maeve in Herogasm. I feel like that's what's gonna happen. We're gonna see some effed up stuff.
I don't know if Maeve's gonna show up in Herogasm because I think Maeve
Well, I'm saying
is in a jail.
that could be it too.
Because she overtly stood up to Homelander in this episode.
Yeah.
And she even said, like, you know, I can't wait to take you down.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I can't wait to do X, Y, and Z. And then Black Noir attacks her. The only other thing that would be interesting is if she's silent. Like, if she's, like, brainwashed.
That'd be interesting.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If she's very, like, kind of like, yes, like, very much a yes man now.
Yeah.
Like, that would be kind of
Really
interesting.
That'd be very eerie, honestly.
Yeah, of seeing her at Herogasm and she's like a totally different person. That would be kind of interesting. So yeah, that's more or less what happens. I can't believe we forgot about the movie story. There was a lot that happens in this episode.
There is, but
There's a lot.
we have to cut it short now. So that concludes the boys talk. Obviously, we'll talk more about it when Brian comes next week. He'll be on that talk as well too. We'll talk about Herogasm.
Yeah,
we'll see where that goes.
We'll talk about Herogasm, and I'm looking forward to Brian's editing of that. I'm like, I don't even know if this is usable. Like, can we talk about this? How do we talk?
Verbally, can we even verbally talk about?
Yeah,
that
like
too?
we're gonna have to just use like
because
we have to have keywords.
Really quick, apparently that's like the scenes that Jensen Ackles was questioning to do a lot of. That's the thing.
That's apparently the scenes that all the actors were questioning to do. Where, like all of them were kind of going, yeah, because this is out of control.
Apparently, like Eric Kripke would email Jensen of certain stick figures and positions. He's like, "Can you do that? Can you do this? Or are you willing to do that?" He's like, "I don't know." He's like, and so that's what Jensen Ackles said in one interview.
I'm expecting to see Jensen Ackles in several different positions.
No, definitely. But to conclude that, really quick edit change, guys, because when you see us back, we'll be probably more lit up.
Yes, you know, because the sun is out.
Yeah,
the sun's out. No, what was it? Production's gonna change.
Production's gonna change.
But anyway, this has been the Boys Talk. We'll catch up with you guys
really quick
right after this break.
And now our feature presentation.
We're back. Whoa, where was I? It's separate break. All right, so that was the boys.
Where did you come from? Get out of here. You're having way more fun.
I'm like, I was gonna flip you off, but I'm like, I can't do that on camera. No, I
Can
can't.
you blur stuff out?
I can. It's just too much work.
Oh, okay.
I don't want to.
So you just have to. But you just have to.
At one point, I might take off my shirt and be like, blur all of this out, right?
What are you gonna do? Huh? Motion tracking.
All you have to do is just find where your line is, which is the top of the mat, and then just go past there.
Like now?
Yeah. And now you have to edit it. No! I said the top of the mat. Not
Dang
it! Now you have to edit it. Good job.
Is it really? Can you see it?
Yeah, you can see
Dang
it.
Now you really got to blur it out.
You
first try on
suck.
that. Yeah,
Hold on. Did I or did I not say top of the mat?
I don't know what you said.
I
said
top
words.
Of the mat.
Oh, God, I hate you
So we got done
so much.
So moving from the boys topic, we're going to talk about Miss Marvel now?
Yes.
All right, we'll talk
So
about Miss
I'm
Marvel.
going to say this, okay? And I do have to fight someone, all right? Longtime listener Ernie from After Death Podcast has been commenting on every single one of our podcast videos, right?
Yeah, right.
I appreciate the interaction. He's always been a great fan. He's always been good.
Yeah.
But then he decided to call us out this last week and say, you guys are supposed to be watching good shows. Why are you guys not watching them? Miss Marvel is such a pandering show. And I'm like, listen, buddy.
Pandering show.
Listen.
Pandering for what?
Okay, so
What's it pandering about?
apparently we don't watch good movies and good TV shows because we love Miss Marvel and we love Moon Knight and we love these other shows that apparently pander and just aren't well done. I'm freaking sorry.
You're shaking the camera just to let you know.
Well, that's how frustrated I am.
I know.
I'm going to start by saying this, okay?
Jesus.
I saw the camera go.
Did we like
It's like a bobblehead over there. It's still moving. It's still going.
Did we like episode 2 of Miss Marvel?
I liked it more than episode 1.
Yes.
I enjoyed it.
It's okay.
It's artistic as hell.
It is very
so
there's
stylish.
so much good
Yeah.
discipline in the
Yeah.
directing, and they're not afraid to show off like a different visual representation of what a TV show could be like, right?
I really like it because it has that vibe of '80s teen movies, but mixed in with kind of like that cool kind of poppy Disney Channel
Yes.
show.
Yeah.
It's a very
This is a really well made Disney Channel show.
yes.
Yeah. The high budget Disney
This is a
Channel
high
show.
budget Disney. This is That's So Raven with a $90 million.
Yes. Pull up the Miss Marvel's actress's name again. I want to get her right because
She's doing a great job.
adore her.
Yeah, she's doing.
She
Yeah,
is
she's doing
she
a
is
good
such a
job.
great actress. There's so much emotion coming out of it. I do not believe that this is her first role.
I'm in
Iman
Iman Val.
Let me see. I
Iman
got you.
Villani.
Villani. Yes.
Iman Villani.
Iman Vellani. Yeah, you're right. You're right. What else has she been in?
This is her first big
I
role.
don't believe
She-
that.
she hasn't-
click movies and TV.
I don't.
She's done like
I think she's done other stuff.
no
That's her IMDb.
No way.
3 Marvel.
You know why?
3 Marvel stuff.
It's the sequence where she comes into the house and starts dancing because she's in love with
Yeah.
with the guy. How do you do that with your first acting experience, dude? That is so
She's
well
that-
done.
Oh,
that
she's
good.
19. Okay, I was like, she
Well, that
looks
makes sense.
young.
That
I
makes
was
sense.
like,
She's
wow.
19.
Yeah.
that makes sense. So because I know that they went out and they casted. Like they there was a casting.
They
call for
did a
this.
phenomenal job with her.
Yeah, they did, and I can totally understand why when the directors saw her, they were like, "That's
Okay,
That's
so
Camilla Khan.
That's
she,
Camilla Khan.
No, that's it. Yeah, she's been in shorts. That's it.
Yeah,
I'm
just
gonna
her and
say
Marvel.
this.
Marvel is gonna be her start.
Look, she is a phenomenal actress.
Yes.
Phenomenal. And she is the biggest highlight of the show.
Yes.
Like she is, if it wasn't for her enthusiasm as a character, I think that the show would just kind of be average.
But I think it's
above it.
I don't think it's just her enthusiasm though. I think it's her awkwardness and quirkiness.
She's a
and
teenager.
everything else.
You
she's
buy
a,
that she's a fangirl too.
Yeah.
you buy that she's a fan. Well, the thing is that she's a fan because Iman is a fan.
Yeah.
Like Iman even says, like, I'm a huge fan. I listen to like nerdy podcasts all the time. I listen to.
Imagine she listens to us.
All right.
Don't-
You know what?
That man can dream, all right?
Iman, if you do, just put a comment.
Yeah.
Just
Even if it's
No,
like a
you know,
just
like
put
a,
Miss Marvel's here.
Love to, I
like a
would
ghost
love,
account. Just put your ghost account right there.
I would love to interview her because she seems so genuine. She's
Yeah.
so
well,
talented.
that was the thing though, is that because like people were interviewing the entire cast, and then New Rockstars asked her. They were like, Iman, do you think that she would do you think that the characters would like our YouTube channels and stuff like that? And she goes, "Oh, I think Miss Marvel would be a huge nerd. She'd be watching everything on YouTube.
Yeah.
So she's a YouTuber.
yeah, she tries to be one.
Yeah, so she's like, she would totally be into like schmoes. She'd be into all the other things because she likes movies, she likes comic books, and she likes superheroes.
So can we get serious for a second?
No,
Okay, you can be out of this question. You can get out of this, okay? Because we're gonna get serious for a second, okay? So, I remember years ago when Miss Marvel was first revealed, right? People were really disliking her because she was supposed to be what?
You're moving the
lift your
camera.
hand off the table
Sorry, she's supposed to
or
be.
switch cameras.
She's
That's
supposed
true.
to be
That
different.
camera's usually there.
She's supposed to be. She was different, right? She's Pakistani,
Yeah.
right? She's of different color, different background. Parents are different. She's not the typical, white superhero that we see in comic books, right?
Yeah.
So a lot of people were saying that her creation was just pandering, that it was just to kind of like bring in a crowd of comic book readers that
Really
normally
could
don't
have
read
been.
comics.
It could have been.
Yeah.
Could have been, right? But you got a group of writers who understood how to make a character work, and they wrote a fantastic character.
Well, they understood how the character worked, but they also understood the culture that they were writing for, and that's the reason why the book took off so well.
And the character stuck.
And the character ended up sticking, and now she's a main. She was a character that had barely started off, and she was leading in the first Avengers game in like the longest time. She was your main character because she was such an easy like character to get behind.
Yeah.
As a teen Avenger, of this like kid who's a fangirl, and she idolizes these heroes.
Now, when you think about it, a comic book is only going to appeal to a certain audience. You're not going to get a mass amount of people who are basically going to pick up a comic book and read it and be interested in it.
It really depends.
It depends.
On the character. It depends on the character. Because Spider-Man, is pretty unanimous.
Exactly. But Miss Marvel, Captain Marvel, those comics don't
Yeah.
really sell, and so you're going to get a different crowd. What you are going to get, though, is a lot of reaction from internet people going like, oh, they're making a Pakistani superhero. This makes no sense. Who've never really picked up a comic book in their life or say that they collect, but they really only collect like main issues for resale value, and it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
What's great about this is that we finally get a Miss Marvel TV show. And these first 2 episodes, at the very least, the first 2 episodes have done a very fantastic job in not just delivering a really good teenage story, but a very good character of a different background, right? That isn't pandering to its audience, saying like, look, this character's different. She's Pakistani, dealing with American culture, and their religion is different. And she's a woman who's trapped behind men who believe that they're kind of more superior and all these different things.
I took it as more of a window into the life of a Pakistani.
That's the thing.
That is it.
It is more of a window than it, because it's kind of like you're following her through her day to day. Because you're following her into like her classes, you're going into all these other things. You're skipping a couple of things, the more mundane and boring things of her day, and you're skipping to the more interesting things because that's a TV show. But the idea of her just kind of living her life and her dealing with not only understanding the bangle and understanding where her family is from and how this connects to her family and her great grandmother, but also the idea of how exactly does her being a woman of not only ethnic origins but also living in America, and what exactly does that mean, and how exactly does that mean with my family and everything else. And that's really interesting too, of kind of like dealing with everything else. How do I deal with the overprotective parent? How do I deal with that? How do I deal managing my friends, plus also trying to keep this secret from my best friend, which she still is doing.
Yes.
Which is going to lead to some kind of problems later. Probably not too big, because her and her best friend, what's her name? I forget. The friend. Nakia. Her and Nakia she hasn't told Nakia yet what it exactly is going on with her. Only Bruno really knows what's going on.
Yeah.
And the only reason Bruno knows is because he was there.
Yes. And I think you said it best when you said that this is a window into that kind of like culture and life, which is great because it's just you looking into this, right? And I think that the showrunners are also of that culture as well.
They
are, right?
At least the director is, for sure.
So it's not like they're misrepresenting, or at least we can't say, because we're not that. We don't have that background.
It feels authentic though.
It does. It does. And you know what? It's interesting because at least when I was watching it yesterday, I could relate to certain moments in her life where she's kind of has to kind of like, make certain decisions, and she's kind of like contemplating what direction she's headed towards. The other thing that really got me was Bruno being jealous of the new guy. Yeah, that was there. I'm like, dude, I totally felt you. And then
of her cousin.
You know what's funny is that they're making her family very interesting characters that are so rememberable. You could really remember each character: the father, the mom, and the brother. The brother is like one of the great characters.
The Khans are a very interesting family dynamic of. Like, I love the idea of of like the mom is very uptight, but she does have a fun side to her. Like she's
very protective.
She's
protective of history.
Like I love and I hate her at the same time. Yes, like, I hate how she's so controlling over Camila, but at the same time, you understand why she is.
Also, it very much feels like she's a woman that always wasn't a mom. She does like because a lot of the times you do get that one note of like she's an overprotective mother. That's it. But they did kind of sample into that and kind of show you a little bit of her fun side, where it's what are they talking about? Music? They were talking about
Bon Jovi.
They were talking about Bon Jovi, and their song was "Slippery When Wet."
Yeah,
and like and her brother was like, "What in the world did I just hear?" Like what? Yeah.
they're very Americanized.
They are.
That's the thing, is that even though they
love
have
America,
they do.
They love being Americans.
Yes.
They talked about a history of
Are they
Pakistan.
first or second? They're
They're
technically.
technically they came from Pakistan.
Yeah.
But
They
mom and dad.
they came here at a young age. didn't
Yeah,
they?
so mom and dad would technically be. No, they would have come with their families.
Yeah.
And then so technically
Camilla is
is
first
first
gen.
year.
First
She'd
gen.
been first generation.
First generation
'Cause
born
she's,
in America.
She's an actual American born.
But again, the window aspect of it is what's interesting, right?
Yes.
Because when you see, there's a moment in that it really captivated me, right? When Camilla and Nakia are talking in the restroom, and Nakia is like, "This is what I wear because I feel like myself wearing this." That is great, because keep in mind, we've read our fair share of pandering moments in comic books that are written so poorly. And again, this is probably the 5th time I've mentioned it, when they make Iceman gay.
Oh yeah.
Terrible
It was
way.
very distasteful how
It
they
was-
did it.
there's-
Like,
Yeah. It's a terrible way of doing it, right? Because to basically out someone without their permission is disrespectful.
Unless you're telling a story like that, unless you're telling a story about somebody being outed, and then that's the story.
But it wasn't.
Of how exactly it was wrong to out somebody,
Yeah.
and it's their choice. I mean, that would have been. That's actually a really interesting comic. if I-
that would be an interesting story, but in the X-Men comic book, All New X-Men, I believe it was during the time, they didn't do that. It was just
Kitty
a
Pryde.
random issue happened.
That's
Yeah.
somebody, but what that sounds like is somebody who just doesn't understand the
They just wanted to
community.
write it to write
They,
it.
they wanted to write a
gay
story,
character.
a story for the OG, for like for that community, and they,
That's one form of bad representation
do it
right
right.
there, right? Here, I felt like what that conversation was kind of putting out there, a normal conversation between two people trying to figure out what is going on.
Yeah.
Hey, Camilla, are you telling me every secret that you're like holding back? Like, are we still friends? Are we not? Yes, we are. Well, and then the flow of the conversation went, I wear what I wear because I feel like myself in this. And I am doing the things that I'm doing because I am trusting my best friend who told me that this was the right move to make.
not only that, but also I'm really hoping that after this episode, she does go talk to her. I really do want that Nakia to be involved and understanding of what's going on. I really don't want them to have written her as that best friend that's like, where have you been?
No,
I
don't.
I really do
That's
want her
such
to
a
be.
cop- that's
it's
a-
but
that's a cop out of
but the
it.
thing is that that's a story that happens usually in a superhero telling of like their best friend thinking that they're just like being
She's
flakes or
gonna
whatever.
reach a crisis, and it'll go towards the ending. We're not really going to talk about the plot, because the plot, you can go watch the show. Really well done. If you have not given it a shot, go for it. We really recommend you go watch the first 2 episodes.
Really quick, what I liked about this episode in particular was that they hinted that she might not need the bracelet
Yes.
that
Yes.
activates her powers.
Because Bruno did say it's not the bracelet
It's coming from her.
that's coming from you. It's the bracelet is activating a power from you, which I think is going to be cool because I think someone's going to steal the bracelet.
Yes.
And then that's how we're going to get the embiggen powers.
So this goes
and
into.
then we're going to have like
and I think
her
that's
actual.
what the mom by the end of this episode, I think, wants the bracelet when she was in that car.
Yes.
I think the mom wants the bracelet.
The mom, was that the grandmother?
I don't know. I think so. Or
It was it was what was his name, Kamir or
But why was she the last person?
Kamran.
yeah.
Huh?
Why was she the last person we
So
saw?
Kamran is talking about how his mom is very close and how they travel a lot and they're very wealthy. So in what it could be is that she is an Inhuman.
I was gonna say that they're scrolls.
They could be
They
scrolls.
could be
too,
scrolls. I was thinking either scrolls, shield agent, or damage control.
or Inhumans.
Inhuman.
Well, because the thing is that technically Camilla Khan is an Inhuman.
She's an Inhuman. Yeah.
She's an Inhuman. Like that's the big thing, and they haven't really talked about Inhumans or anything like that. But they do have like purple all over the place whenever she's activating her powers, and that is the way that they were showing Terrigen Mist inside of like Shield and other things like that. So I'm wondering if inside the bangle it was made out of a Terrigen crystal.
Oh, I
And
see
that's
what you
how
mean.
it activated.
And
That'd
that's
be
why
cool.
it's activating.
That would be cool.
And then when they're fighting over it, it breaks. She actually ingests Terrigen Mist, and then she becomes
Miss
Marvel with her abilities.
It is interesting though, because I was thinking about this yesterday watching the show, that all of us have pretty much put a prediction out there that the shows connect to the MCU in a big way, but so far none of the shows have really connected to the MCU and the movies that have come out in a big way. I do want to say
that's a lie.
Which one?
WandaVision?
What?
Really, the movie
WandaVision,
the movie that we
Doctor
just
Strange.
You did have Kat Dennings in WandaVision too, from Thor. That's the thing.
But have any other shows? Falcon and the Winter Soldier? No.
Well, not yet.
Not yet.
That's the only thing that because the thing is that they're building they're building a world of after the blip.
They're building foundations for movies to sit on. I think that's the better way of saying it.
Yeah.
So I think that I was incorrect in saying it that way.
Yeah, because it's not that they're not connected to it or anything like that. It's that these ideas are up there, and then it's something that we can eventually grab on, or something that we can eventually tap a string to.
Yeah.
And I'm assuming that they're going to eventually do that with Captain America, with all the others too. So
I feel like we'll have a full narrative of what they're planning to come after maybe Fantastic Four, after the new year.
Yeah.
Because Fantastic Four comes out in December, I think. It's supposed to.
I thought isn't it next year? Or is it
No,
this year?
it's supposed to.
They haven't even released the trailer and haven't started production, so it should be 2023.
Yeah, I would be so surprised.
John Watts just got hired as a director not that long ago.
Yeah. So
But didn't he leave?
Oh no, yeah, you're right. He left.
John Watts left. They did get a new director though.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, you're right. I was
But
like, yeah, he left for the Star Wars
But
project.
that's what I'm saying is that if I'm sure after 2023 we'll have a better idea of where things are, because we also have Wakanda Forever still coming out.
There's a
So
trailer
there's other
supposed to be
things.
coming out in June or the end of this month.
Yeah,
For
the end of this
Wakanda
month.
Forever?
Wakanda Forever.
Dang, I wonder what they're gonna do.
Yeah.
That's
T'Challa
like
died.
That's
And
gonna be
honestly, I
interesting.
think the way to do it is he was saving someone and something went wrong. And I would enjoy it if it was a murder mystery. That would,
I mean, though, that's the thing.
Scooby-Doo and
is
Mystery
that-
Incorporated.
no,
solve
but
his
not necessarily
death.
like
I feel
that,
like
but
I feel like though that we could recast T'Challa, because I feel like Chadwick Boseman is the type of person that
wouldn't care.
wouldn't care. He wouldn't.
But they've
want
already
that.
said that they're not recasting him.
See, and I think that's a big mistake. I
Unless
feel
they
like
did and they didn't say anything.
They haven't mentioned anything. They are even saying that even the actress that plays Shuri, she doesn't want to do. She doesn't want to do Black Panther or play as
Black
Panther.
Panther.
She says she doesn't. That's too much. She can't do that. Apparently, she's gone into some Twitter hot water as well too.
I don't know.
Okay,
I think with
that's besides the point.
I think
Yeah.
with Black Panther, it's a topic that we need to kind of wait because there's a lot of speculation in terms of that,
Yeah,
of like
it's-
what direction it can head to, and we could totally be. They could do a full 360 or not 360, like a 180 plus 90-degree turn, and be like,
360 is-
Just bring
yeah.
back.
psych,
come
you were
back.
right.
And then it's a full circle, man.
Psych on
So,
psych.
yeah.
Bring
They were
back Killmonger and just like he's the new Black Panther. Or
Oh,
something
what you
like
thought?
that.
It's a full 180? Nope, we're doing 270.
Wakanda Forever is just it's the same Wakanda movie, just with different actors. That's it.
They just did a spin on us to make us believe that we
That's all
were
they
wrong.
did.
But you were right, baby.
No,
Miss
but-
Marvel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good show, and this is where I'm going to get into a little bit of a fight, okay? If you don't like the show, that's fine. I completely understand if you're not into this whole like pandering thing and believe it
It's
to be.
it's not.
I get no,
pandering.
but you
If you-
can't convince certain people to believe that. You can say it's not a pandering show. It's not that. That's fine.
Yeah.
Don't watch it then. Do not. I don't care.
Yeah.
To say and to to basically discourage people from watching this show. Stop. It's
Yeah.
not a bad show.
But the thing is that I feel like if it wasn't, because pandering means that they're mentioning something so that way
They're
can get a
putting it in your
specific item.
face.
And they're putting it in your face. I feel that there would be a lot more outrage from that community if it wasn't respectfully doing what it's saying it's doing, of like representing a first generation, Pakistani family in
Yeah.
New York. And I feel like there would be a lot more outrage on
The
how
outrage
exactly
is coming from the people that don't want to support this. That's the problem, is they're looking at this and going like, oh, well, you guys are changing my superheroes and I'm not going to watch this anymore. Dude, freaking comic books change all the goddamn time.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but if you're saying, oh, but I collect comic books for years and I've read so many things and this, I just don't agree.
Dude, there's been like 9 Batmans.
There's
Like-
okay, I'm sorry. Exactly.
There's a Batman that's black now.
No, for real.
There's a black
There's
Batman
like
now.
been like 9 Batmans.
Yeah.
Like,
Look,
like Bruce Bruce Wayne is a cool story and everything else, but also the story gets a lot cooler when you change the character, when you can change his background.
We can't talk about the representation in Miss Marvel, but what we can talk about, okay? Because we're not a part of what they're representing there. What we can talk about, though, is how they're written, right? And how it's putting out that information out there for people to see. It's not in your face, right? It's a character that has grown and developed over the years.
But the thing is that yes, you're right. It's not in your face, but the I feel like the reason why it works so well is because it's not in your face, and because of the fact that it doesn't feel like a Pakistani family. It feels like a normal family. It just feels like a family dynamic that happened to be Pakistani.
So then, what would you tell people that don't like the show? I mean, just don't watch it.
Suck it up, Buttercup.
No, but honestly, I would say give it a chance because I feel
They're
like
not going to
people,
give it a chance.
But I feel like people are judging it because it's about a Pakistani family, and they're immediately going, "Oh, well, they're just going to do a stereotypical Pakistani family," but not necessarily give it that opportunity. Because I'm not going to lie, I do think Mom's a speedster. Why? Because she packed that food way too fast.
What if she is?
Yeah, it makes sense, right?
You like I
maybe she is an Inhuman and she doesn't want to show her abilities.
exactly.
Yeah.
And I think that's the thing of her being an Inhuman and everything else. I think that would be really interesting. Of like you finding out that she has this larger history, and that's why she like ran away, and that's why she did everything else. Because it kind of sounds like she doesn't want to like talk about her family history a lot. But just give the show a chance. Honestly, stop seeing the color on their skin and stop seeing their culture. See the people for who they are. See who that family is, because the story is about a family that just so happened to be Pakistani. It's not about a Pakistani. It's not about Pakistan and a family that lives there.
The points you're saying apply to daily life as well. These points just don't apply to the show, right? 100% right. 100% agree with you. In terms of the show, to basically outright hate it because of what you said and more, because it's not your typical Marvel show, because it's telling a different story, because it's based off a newer comic book that just came out, shut up. I don't give a goddamn F about anything that they're saying like, that this show sucks and they're not going to watch it because it's a pandering show or whatever it is. If you have not watched it, or even if you've watched it, right? And yeah, I am getting a little bit passionate about this because these people are just freaking idiots when it comes down to it, right? I don't care if I'm, basically losing an audience at this point. Like, no, then we don't want that audience. I'm going to say it this way. The character's been out enough and developed long enough to earn respect from comic book readers. Yeah. And it's not a pandering character because her characteristics and her personality aren't based off her culture. That's not the entirety of it, right? It's the same way with Miles Morales. What, are we supposed to give a character that just came out maybe a decade ago? Are we supposed to give him 2-3 decades to develop and be like, no, I've accepted you? No. Read the goddamn books or don't say anything at all. Straight up, you know what? I get it. Ernie's been commenting on it and saying things like that. I'm not going to comment on here and on his comments and be like, oh, here's the reply to this and this is why you should watch it. No. If he wants... No, I'm not going to comment on it. That's dumb. No, I'm just joking. I'll say this. They've already invited me on the show. They've already invited me on the show. The last time I went, they lost the file, so they said, "You know what? We're going to do it again." Fine.
They lost the file.
They lost the file. They lost the file. They basically it got corrupt or something like that.
They lost the file because they lost the argument. That's why they were like, Brian beat us. We look really silly on this one.
Verbally kicked our butts.
Yeah. So they said that they didn't angle the cameras right. Now they have better production stuff.
So when are we going?
So when are we going? I don't know.
Keep it with the Nerds versus the After Death podcast.
You know what's straight up? Because you know what? Chris is on.
Wait, hold on. Can we have a debate? I'm down.
I'm down with that because you know why?
Like a structured debate of like why Miss Marvel's not pandering.
You know what? You know who we get?
Is it pandering?
Chris is so easy to bait. We can get him on our side, and then it's just Ernie versus 3 people.
No, but honestly, that would be a lot of fun. Is Miss Marvel pandering?
If they're down, if they're down for it, that's fine. And his argument's gonna be like, well, I just don't like it. I'd be like, well, that sucks then,
That's my opinion. I don't like it.
Straight up, give Miss Marvel a shot. Yeah. It's a good show. It's only 2 episodes in. Yeah. That's all you need right now. Let's see how it goes. If it goes in a bad direction, cool. It went in a bad direction. It's not pandering right now.
The thing is, wrap up Miss Marvel talk.
Yeah. The thing is that I've always gotten into that whole thing of if you haven't watched it, do not comment on it. because you hearing it from a second source or you reading an article is completely different than you being inside the theater or you watching the
He
TV
did say
show.
he hasn't seen it and refuses to watch it. So that
Exactly.
makes sense.
Yeah.
So what my thing is that
It's the same
if
thing
you
if-
haven't
yeah.
seen it, then it's really hard for me to take your opinion as like as like a fact or like as like true as like something that you actually experienced because you have not seen it. You haven't seen how they did it. You haven't seen what it feels like. You haven't seen the communications, the acting, the music, everything else added together to make a story. You just heard or read an article of a third to fourth party who watched it, and these are their opinions. Make your own opinion on it. Go watch it. And I say that on every movie. That's why I watch terrible movies for you. Because then I have my own opinion.
Makes sense.
Yeah, that's why we watch Halo, so we can have our opinion on it.
Moving on. Do we have to mention it every issue? She's like, yeah, we watched Halo.
Yeah, because we watched Halo.
Hold on.
I feel like I should get a trophy.
Paramount.
Wait, hold on. Can we do that?
What?
Can
Get
we
a
just-
trophy?
No, can we that? But also, can we change the F word for Halo? Holy Halo!
Halo.
What
Halo
the
you, man. Halo you.
That's a direct insult, dude.
It's exactly
That's
right.
a very personal insult.
I'm gonna do that now.
No, I'm gonna say this to wrap it up before we talk about Lightyear. Ernie's a great guy. Really
love
great
you.
friend. Yeah, we do. But your opinions are kind of crappy. So let's move on.
All right.
We'll argue on the show. I'm down. I'm down.
I'm
down.
ready for a debate.
Look, it's gonna
We'll
be.
do it when the series wraps up. Maybe we'll talk about it.
Yeah, we'll see if
Yeah.
Chris and Ernie
If he
agree to it.
watches the show, we will do it. If he sits and watches the show, and then we can debate about it.
Yes.
Exactly.
He needs to finish the show.
You need
then
to
we'll do
watch
it.
the show if you want this to happen. All right.
Yes, because this does sound like hilarious.
Dude, are we
content.
gonna start a
Yes.
podcast where
It's
Year
the
two, anything can happen. Year two, we're going for the small podcast. Year three, that's it. We're going for the Warp Zone. We're going for the rock stars. We're going for new rock stars.
Joe Rogan.
Joe Rogan. We're finding a better. You know what? You know what? Instead of DMT, ketamine.
Oh my god, Jesus!
That's it. That's what we take on
Speaking
Joe
of
Rogan.
ketamine, Lightyear.
Speaking of space trips,
There you go.
Lightyear. I am
Yay.
upset.
Why?
Because Andy continuously, dude, she won't shut up. She's
we
just like,
walked
it was
out of the
okay.
theater- Yeah, we walked out of the theater, and when you went to the restroom, she was like, "It was all right."
she didn't like it.
No, but the thing is, it's not that she look.
Okay,
when
she doesn't hate
like
it.
No, she doesn't.
hate it.
She,
Yeah.
she just doesn't like it. But the thing is, when she doesn't
Wait,
like
hold
something,
on. I'm sorry. What? So she doesn't hate it, but she wasn't.
she thinks it's okay.
Okay.
Okay, so here's the thing: when she thinks something's okay, she likes to continuously remind me or other people, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay. And I'm like, dude, shut
Nope.
up.
Just got a certified fresh.
Yeah,
77%.
and the audience is like 80.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's a good movie.
it was good.
It's a good movie.
Yeah.
But she's not. She goes like, it's okay. All right, you know what? Your opinions are okay.
So Mandy's watched it. She thoroughly liked it. She went in with low expectations.
As you should, because why are we gonna get a
Yeah.
Lightyear movie? No one asked for it.
So she watched it. She enjoyed it. She liked all the lines. Obviously, she likes socks.
Obviously, it's a
Yeah.
it's a toy.
That's a-
hey,
that's a-
better
that's a toy.
put up that
Yeah,
money
I
for
was
Disney,
gonna
right?
say,
There you go.
yeah.
That's Disney money right there.
What I really want is I want socks as like a universal tool. Like I want to be able to take his tail off and he has a USB drive.
If they make a socks like personal charger, that would be awesome. You just like take his tail out. You could plug in your phone.
That'd
in
be
and stuff.
dope. A battery bank.
Yeah, battery bank.
I want him to be a battery bank USB.
Flashlight?
Like, I want him to. I want to like push his head in the flashlight.
A utility tool.
Dude,
That
yeah.
sucks.
If he was, with that
Shut
just
up.
soft,
Hey, no.
SD
We're giving
drive,
Disney.
put memory in them. And
Guys,
stuff.
we're
Yeah,
giving
dude.
Disney ideas.
I know because I want them to make it.
But then they're gonna take our idea.
Dude, I
we'll
don't
get paid
care.
for it.
I don't care at this point.
I care.
We weren't gonna get paid no matter what.
I already worked for Disney. I don't have to give them my IPs and crap.
That's true.
Yeah.
You already bent over for the mouse.
I did once, and I do it again.
Well, it's sad
Trauma.
to see you go, Brian. But one last.
So Lightyear is the story of Buzz Lightyear. It's the movie that Andy saw in 1995,
Which
that
was
really
cool.
inspired him to watch or to get the toy. Right?
Yeah.
It really
Yes.
motivated him to get the toy. But the trailer storyline does not really represent what the story is about.
I think they were keeping that a secret. Honestly.
They were, and it's good because
the movie's about family.
It's it's about speed and it's about family. It was technically, but it basically has to do with the story. If spoilers, has to do with Buzz essentially having to learn the idea of time and how valuable time is.
Yeah.
Right, because his entire thing is the mission is most important.
That
relationship. So that's what it is. He wants to complete the mission, but at the expense of the time he could have spent with his best friend. He lost all of that. Now he's having to, understand the lessons of working together and teaching other generations and understanding that, with time loss, you're not really enjoying yourself and you're not understanding, proper lessons that you could go through life, right? That's the entirety of the story.
Yeah.
At its core. What I will say about this movie is that it's a very 90s-esque movie. It's a very 90s sci-fi movie.
Yeah.
Slow-paced, a lot of dialogue, and when the action's there, it's very minimal, and it's just supposed to kind of move the story along. Right?
Yeah.
That in itself is a very good understanding of what the production team was trying to do with the story and understanding that this wasn't a modernized 2000 sci-fi movie that was super fast-paced, made for the kids and stuff like that.
It did feel like Buck Rogers. Like it felt like Buck Rogers or like old school Star Trek.
Yeah, and you know what? That's what I told Andy because Andy says that it's okay. She said she said it was okay, right? But her biggest gripe about it was that how is a kid supposed to like this movie when it's slow? Let me put it to you this way. If 2 kids out of 10 like this movie, I would much rather have those 2 kids fall in love with old school sci-fi than have 8 other kids be like, oh yeah, it was so great and all this other stuff. Because those kids are the kids that are going to like a different form of science fiction. Yeah. How many kids out there love Star Wars? A lot of kids. But how many kids love Star Trek?
Not that many.
Not that many.
Plus, how many kids are paying for their own tickets?
Exactly, right? So
I mean, not only that, but also, those kids. There are certain kids that pick correctly, and there are certain kids that pick incorrectly. Yeah, and it's fine.
I'm gonna fight you, IRL, dude. I am going to fight you.
Oh, never mind. I thought we were gonna make out.
No.
Okay.
Usually when fight you with my tongue.
Yeah.
Tongue wrestle.
But that's the thing is that it's
me and Brian finally had sex. That's the end of year 2. Is we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it.
I'll throw this at you.
No, the cap open.
Yeah, I was like, with the cap open, that's messed up.
It scratches him in the face.
I kind of like this shirt.
Stop, Nick.
I like it when it's on the floor.
Can we talk about Lightyear? Can we go back to
So,
Lightyear, please?
I thoroughly liked. So, spoilers. We're going to talk about a little bit of spoilers.
We already did.
Okay. Well, no, we didn't talk about who's Zurg.
More or less,
it was his dad. No, I'm just kidding.
So,
which is also a funny joke from
Toy Story 2.
From Toy Story 2. Where he's like,
are you my father? He's like, no.
Are you my father? No. How are we related? We're not. Okay.
Zurg is Buzz from the future.
Yeah. But future Buzz, basically. Yeah. Which I was thinking, I think if Tim Allen didn't get into controversy, he could have played old Buzz.
I think that he could have played Buzz. But
I think that's because they got James Brolin, which is Josh Brolin's dad.
Yes.
Yeah.
But James Brolin is still pretty good.
No, yeah. That's the thing. Josh Brolin's the voice of Thanos.
Yeah. No.
Okay. You look very puzzled. That's why.
No, I was just I was trying to put the 2 and 2 together because I didn't realize that it was a different voice
Yes.
for older Buzz. That's interesting.
But how cool would it have been if it would have been Tim Allen?
I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of hoping it was gonna be Buzz Aldrin.
I was thinking the exact same thing in the theater. I was like, huh. That's all.
What if?
Honestly,
that could have been cool.
I was like, if it was Buzz Aldrin, that would have been kind of sick. If it was, hello Buzz.
Yeah. No, I think the because I watched it again, so it's a really good second time watch. Really good, so it still holds up even after a day after.
I want to watch it again because one, you were dead ass tired, so you fell asleep partially, and I had to wake you up.
I did knock out but I also had a full day.
Yeah, that's why I don't blame you.
Like literally, I woke up at 9 a.m. worked, went on a field trip with my students, went to go pick you up.
Yeah.
Got dinner and then went straight to the movie theater.
Yeah.
And by the time we had sat down, my body just
halfway sleep mode.
But the thing is that it wasn't because the movie was boring. It was a little slow.
Yeah, that's understandable.
So I got into a nice little lull, and also Montebello seats are comfortable as hell.
They are.
They were
we
so
might have to
comfortable.
go there.
Yeah, I know.
That's our go-to place.
Honestly, dude, the only problem it has is that it doesn't have a proper IMAX.
Yeah.
It doesn't have a proper IMAX, but for anything else, I'm kind of down because those seats were way more comfortable than other ones.
They knew
Also,
how to build ones.
I like
also
how
the
the
space.
Yeah, the ones in the seats that we got because there's like it's a big gap in between us and stuff
Yeah,
like that.
like, it
Like
was
behind us and stuff.
It was really nice. Like I hadn't been in Montebello in a while, and then we went. And me and him were just like,
we just sunk in.
We like sunk in. It
But
was great.
it was actually funny. I was telling this guy, there was a couple sitting next to me, but when they got there,
Oh, they were having a fight.
they were having like some sort of fight.
They were having an argument the entire time.
Because as soon as they sat down, the girlfriend was like because the boyfriend sat next to me and the girlfriend was right next to him, and she was like, "Are you really gonna act like this for the next 2 hours?" He goes, "Whatever, I don't care." And so they're watching it, and they're just, I can see throughout my peripherals, she's sitting this way, away from him, and he's kind of just like this. And I'm like, dude, why you have to go my direction? I'm all like,
I'm trying to enjoy.
Yeah.
See, this is the benefit of having to watch movie or being able to watch movies by yourself, right? Because
People watch.
No, because for me, if I'm next to someone that's very like uncomfortable about a certain thing, I can't focus on the movie.
Yeah.
Like with you, you were already snoring, so I was like, wake up, you know?
But
That's
you know-
fine.
but-
No, because I just
Honestly, I knocked out for maybe 2 seconds.
fine. That's
Yeah.
fine. That's why I woke you up. But
Yeah,
the
I
thing
literally
is,
went.
look, I love what?
Nobody was, it was funny though because I did this. I went, and then like literally he goes, he hit me with the shoulder, and I was like, what?
What?
Like I was mad at him. I was like, dude, what the? Like, you want to fight? Like, what are you doing? And then like he was just like, and I was like, I fell asleep.
And I'm gonna say this: I love Andy. No, nothing against her.
Yeah.
But the problem with her is that
Did she
when
fall asleep too in this
she
movie?
fell asleep.
Yeah.
But the thing is that she makes her problems my problems as well.
Also,
so she was like,
also she sits in a movie theater like a child.
she does. And so she's like, she's grabbing onto my arm and she's like passing out. And I'm like, look, you're tired. I don't want to be a dick, but like scoot this way, just over there. You're gonna fall asleep. Fall asleep to the left, like not on me because I'm paying attention to the movie.
You're in a lazy boy.
Then go to sleep. Look, I get it, but for me,
I'm sorry. I just for some reason I thought of you going like this to Andy and just like her going out of her seat.
look, it's just I don't want to be a dick, but when I'm watching a movie, if the movie is good and I'm interested in it, I want to give it the respect it deserves.
I always love whenever Brian goes, I don't want to be a dick, but when he says that, it's always like, but are you ready? Because I'm going to tell you I'm going to be a dick right now.
well, because how else am I supposed to say it? You know,
No,
that's the thing.
But that was I just kind of wish instead of falling asleep like this, I would have done this and laid on you, so that way you got it from both sides.
I literally would have just got.
I think you would you just see Brian going, I'm done.
Like right before the movie starts or something like in like 10 minutes in, I'm done. Just walks up, gets up. That would have been so great too, if that was the scene when Buzz's friend says, "Oh yeah, I met her on this thing," when she says that she's a lesbian. Brian goes, "I'm done."
Just terrible timing.
Terrible timing.
And then he walks out, and then somebody goes, "Wow, that guy really doesn't like."
Let's talk about that scene in particular because we have about maybe like 5 minutes left before we
that's a
close
big
it up.
controversial
That's a big
scene.
controversy, right? We can all say that we love the movie, we understand what it was trying to do and everything, right?
Really quick, when that scene happened in the theater, no one said crap.
Good.
It was all we were like, okay, cool.
Wait, what are you talking about?
When the lesbian kiss happened. Ooh. Ah!
Well, remember Buzz's
It's
friend?
so dumb.
Yeah.
Hawthorne says that she is engaged and
Yeah.
met her while they're standing here.
How
Apparently,
dare
Is that a
you like
problem?
that's been a
Hey,
problem.
no,
with
Nick, that is a problem.
certain.
Go ahead, take this out of context. I don't care. Go ahead and do it.
it's
How
been a-
dare you guys like lesbian kisses? Ooh, that's bad
Wait,
for
what?
kids.
It's been a problem on certain right side of places, and they're saying that they shouldn't have that in a children's movie. That it's
You know what? Show me one right winger who doesn't have that on any of their porn searches.
name out there, but I'm like, I'm not gonna say anything.
I'll show any right winger, and that's not on their
show me
porn
a certain
search.
red elephant.
The red elephant people, I know that for a fact they enjoy that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
In the privacy
Hey,
of their
careful,
own home.
careful, man,
some-
because now
do
we're
some
turning into a
internet-
political podcast, and we
whatever.
just lost an audience.
So
you know,
here's my thing. Here's my
Big
thing.
deal.
Okay,
I think we can all say that. Like for me, you've told me you don't
here's
care
my
about
thing.
politics.
If
I'm in the middle.
If I'm able
know?
to kiss a woman on camera, then a woman and another woman should be able to kiss on camera.
Here's okay.
Animated ones, too.
Especially if they're not even real people.
Let's go a step further than that. You guys ready?
I know, but it's not even.
It
like,
was on screen for like 2 seconds.
See, here's my thing though. If it was like, I get it if it was like hentai, and like it was just like them making out, and then like they pulled away and they got that like long piece of spit.
Or an
that's,
octopus
like,
comes out and goes into a
like,
certain orifice.
Yeah, like then I'm all with you, and I'm like, oh, this shouldn't be in a Buzz Lightyear movie. Like, what's
Or
going
a vine
on?
goes somewhere else.
Yeah, like, if there's vines between stuff and like it's like wrapping around, then I'm like, oh, wow, Pixar really.
There were a lot of vines in that movie. There was
Yeah, I
Hey,
should be
A lot
like,
of
wow.
opportunities.
See, that's when you go, wow, this movie was made at home. Just Pixar
COVID
animators.
was one hell of a thing with the editors.
that's the thing. Look, the show or the movie had it for 2 seconds, and it was it was in the story. Like there was no, she didn't like blur it out and goes like, yeah, I'm lesbian. Did I mention I'm a lesbian space ranger? Also, I'm lesbian.
Yeah.
Who cares?
They didn't even do that whole like it was all equal. That's the thing. It's like, okay, everyone, if you want to be a space ranger, you can be a space ranger, even if you're an old lady, or a scared man, or even a young woman.
Yeah,
You
everybody can be.
Everyone can be a space ranger, even a robot cat.
Exactly.
Can be a
There's
space
robot
ranger.
cat who's a space ranger.
Has an armor too.
I also. I love it where he's just walking around. He's like, I never worn pants before, but I feel like I need to wear pants. And I thought that was a really funny
Why did
joke.
you laugh at the part where he like throws the dart at them? It was like, I bought you 5 minutes.
That was the best.
That was the
That was
best.
still good, even watching the
was
second
so
time, man.
funny.
So, because there's no projectile sign. He goes, and then his own mouth goes, and just
So funny. Okay, here's the reason why it was funny. Is because the
Died, dude.
No, because the first time when it first happens, I love Buzz's reaction of like, what?
Wait,
like,
was
what
that
was
for
that?
me?
And then he goes, was that for me if I went too far? And he goes, I bought you 5 minutes. Like,
And then it
not
happened-
answering the question because yes, it was meant for it was meant for me to pacify you.
I could relate to
Fine.
Buzz when it comes to like automated like smart devices. I'm just like, yeah, I totally get you. I love smart
By the
devices.
way, how
But the-
awesome is it? He grabs the Ivan,
console
blows into it,
blows into it,
and then it
snaps
starts
back
working.
in. I thought that was really
No
funny.
kid laughed. Only the adults.
Yeah, only the adults laugh. It's like blowing on your CD. No,
What is this? A cartridge? Yeah. You guys
Well,
didn't
the-
live through the
the
dark
re-
age of tech.
The reason why I liked it is because I liked I really did like the full circle to that of when he pacifies the one person. He goes, "Is that for me if I went too far?"
Yeah.
And then at the very end when you get to Zurg, he's gone too far and he pacifies him. And then he goes, I bought you 5 minutes. And that's the reason why I started laughing because I was like, that's funny. That's
That's how you make a joke come around. Yeah.
That's how you make that joke come full circle.
They knew what they were doing. To wrap
Yeah.
up this topic, because we do have to close out the show, there were a lot of Toy Story references in the dialogue
So
that Buzz was
many.
doing, which is great.
Yeah.
Because like there seems to be no intelligent sign of life anywhere. It's so great to hear that. Really recommend you guys go watch it, especially if you guys are fans of Toy Story, because it is a good representation of what a kid in that age or in that time would have seen in terms of sci-fi and wanted to get a toy from it.
It's definitely a great movie to kick off summer break now.
Yeah,
That's the thing.
it's good.
Yeah.
It's good. It's a kid's movie, but it's very appreciated for adults. And if you love 90s sci-fi, it's very slow-paced. It's very, like, story-driven. Characters are there. I think my only complaint with it is Taika Waititi's character. I felt like a lot of the problems there were created because of his inactions, and I get it that they had to learn through it. But some of the problems could have been avoided if, like, certain characters weren't just so clumsy.
Yeah.
That's it. You know, they weren't proper problems. With that said, we're going to go ahead and wrap up this show of Keeping Up with the Nerds, issue 102.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Check us out at keepingupwiththenerd.com for all the up-to-date information on when shows, videos, and minicasts are going to come out. We're still working on some articles as well. Hayden, I apologize for not posting up the. He sent one earlier that I haven't posted up yet.
Yeah.
But with everything in the works, hopefully it'll be up soon. I know it's late.
I told
but
him we've been busy.
We'll do that. So new videos are going to be coming out soon. Go check us out on audio podcasts, wherever you listen to your audio podcast, and on YouTube at Keeping Up with the Nerds. Follow us on our Insta socials, or Insta, Facebook, and Twitter. All our socials. We're at 111 subs on YouTube.
saw that.
So let's get up to 150. Come on, let's
Yes.
do it. Recommend us if you guys like it. But we're averaging like 20 to 30 views on our YouTube channel.
That's awesome.
With good impressions and everything. So thank you guys for the support. Let us know what you guys think in the comments section below. And with that said, I think we should be able to wrap it up, right?
Yeah.
All right. Thank you guys. Renee, take us out.
This has been Keeping Up with the Nerds, issue 102. My name is Renee.
This is Brian.
And Nick.
Signing off from Undercity Comics. We'll see you all next